U.S. intelligence agency, mind control.
Bridge fall down.
Bridge fall down.
Yeah. So.
That's a big ship.
Oh yeah.
No wonder bridge fall down.
Yeah. Nothing. Like literally nothing could have stopped this. Like
yeah.
The only place it goes from here is investigations on. So I've heard rumors of things. Like obviously a capitalist company is gonna take shortcuts where they can.
Yes.
So the question is, how liable is it? You know, like it's not. Is it like a Boeing incident? Like I'm sure they've crashed, like cut down on safety and said fuck safety. You know, because like that's just what everything is. But look at how big this thing is. Also, all the port access to the city is on the other side of this bridge.
Oh
where
my
this
god,
boat's coming from, right?
Jesus Christ.
And
they need to get that the fuck out of there very quickly.
Yeah. Well, they're still trying to recover the bodies. So
yes, I heard about that.
Anyway, we'll hear about it here.
Yeah, it also lost power. I heard. Multiple times.
I'll tell you the whole story.
Welcome to the News Hour. So far, 2 bodies have been recovered from the river where a bridge collapsed yesterday in Baltimore.
6, I heard, in the water.
Yeah, I think
Did nobody else die? Is that it? That's
what
it?
is okay? But what is the 6th gen? Well,
yeah. What does 6th gen mean?
What's beyond an information war?
I'm curious. Here's the serious questions. Here we go. They've got it. We're fucked.
I mean, I'm trying. We'll get there. I mean, we have Tanya.
Yeah, we do.
Look, if you give us enough to give Tanya a decent enough pay to do the news, then Tanya will be on here.
For the remaining unaccounted for continues.
She's a
Divers
muscle
are
mommy.
navigating treacherous waters, hoping to recover what remains of those lost.
The city of Baltimore woke up again this morning to the mangled ruins of the Francis Scott Key Bridge shrouded in fog. The initial search and rescue mission has turned to a search and recovery mission.
These divers have been back in the water for hours now.
Maryland Governor Wes Moore said divers and recovery crews are braving treacherous conditions in the depths of the Patapsco River to search for those missing who are now presumed dead.
They are down there in darkness where they can literally see about a foot in front of them. They are trying to navigate mangled metal. And
I was going to say that's a hard search.
It is now presumed that people have lost their lives.
Around 1:30 Tuesday morning, the Dolly, a nearly 1,000-foot-long cargo ship, lost power as it was piloting out of the Baltimore harbor.
Damn.
The vessel was able to issue a mayday call, allowing police to halt bridge traffic.
Oh,
Jesus. One of you guys on the south side, one of you guys on the north side, hold all traffic on the Key Bridge. There's a ship approaching. Has just lost their steering. There's a crew up there. You might want to notify whoever the foreman is, see if we can get them off the bridge temporarily.
But the work crew that was on the bridge wasn't able to evacuate in time.
If they literally,
vigil was held.
That's not even the full call. I can pulse the full call because it's pretty interesting.
Okay.
I know I sent it.
Yeah, do that.
Because like if they had one more minute, they probably would have gotten all 6 guys off the bridge.
Seriously.
One more minute, yeah. I mean, they got the road closed in 2. The police were already there blocking the road.
Well, there were cars going across, no joke, like 30 seconds before it hit.
1 minute, like 1 minute before the bridge goes out, there's still cars that go across.
Yeah, crazy. I'm surprised not as many people died. That's very impressive. Still fuck the cops, but they did well. It was probably ambulance and firefighters, really.
One of you guys on the south side, one of you guys on the north side, hold all traffic on the Key Bridge. There's a ship approaching. Has just lost their steering. So until you get that under control, we got to stop all traffic. Yeah, we're all on the route to the south side. Dispatch start. I'm holding traffic now. I was dragging, but we stopped prior to the bridge, so I'll have all outer loop traffic stopped. 10-4. Is there a crew working on the bridge right now? 291, but good. Want me to stop traffic on this site right now? Yeah, if we can stop traffic Just make sure no one's on the bridge right now. I'm not sure where. There's a crew up there. You might want to notify whoever the foreman is, see if we can get them off the bridge temporarily.
10-4. Once the other unit gets here, I'll ride up on the bridge. I have.
Fucking hell, man! You should have fucking just driven up the bridge.
Once you get here, I'll go grab the workers on the key bridge and then stop the outer loop.
C-13 dispatch. The whole bridge just fell down. Start, whoever, everybody. The whole bridge just collapsed.
Simple dispatch is direct. That's correct. This time.
Do we know if all traffic was stopped?
I can't get to the other side, sir. The bridge is down. We're going to have to get somebody on the other side, the Anne Arundel County MSP, to get up here and stop traffic coming northbound.
Yeah, literally. No, like I
bridge.
said, it took them.
I think the calls
literally
cut a little bit though.
They literally got the call 2 minutes ahead.
Oh, they had 2 minutes. Okay.
Yes, they had
Okay.
2 minutes until impact. So they have,
And if they had
one
3
more,
minutes,
if they had one more minute, all 6 of those guys would have lived. But still, like the fact that somebody was in the area, right? It's also 1 a.m. There's not a lot of traffic. It could have been so
True.
much worse.
yeah, it was very lucky.
And I'm holding all traffic northbound.
I need one of you guys.
There's a crazy video of the collapse too.
Immigrant construction workers from El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, and Mexico.
Thank you.
At the White House today, Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg laid out 4 objectives his department is focusing on now.
Reopen the port, deal with the supply chain implications until the port does reopen, rebuild the bridge, and deal with the surface transportation implications until the bridge is rebuilt.
But he couldn't.
Why would
Why
you
of the bridge?
why would you go to like a 6th gen when you can just join 5th gen?
Yeah, exactly. And then you can still kidnap.
Right? Like we'll give you the resources to do it. Like that's what our point is.
We just don't know yet, especially in terms of their foundational infrastructure.
Or the port.
Again, too soon to venture an estimate. The vast majority of the port is inside of that bridge.
We're already becoming a conglomerate. We're about to absorb James and 6th gen.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and we also already have our secret divisions and stuff.
Yes.
No, which means most of it cannot operate.
For now, other Baltimore roadways are
Everyone's
absorbing the estimated 31,000 vehicles that normally
We have
cross
one
the
muscle
Key Bridge
mommy.
every day. Meanwhile, investigators have recovered the cargo ship's black box as they begin to piece together what went wrong.
I love this. Drivers cross bridge labeled bad, right? Was that the full newscast though?
No, that was just the segment. I'm just doing the 2 segments you have, then the full one.
The World Meteorological Organization issued a red alert warning today.
Yeah, no, stay on the bridge
warming
though.
And climate change, saying 2024 is.
I thought you just wanted to do PBS.
No. I'm saying that's why I was saying that's why I was asking was the full one or not. But yeah, no, stay on the bridge. Stuff. There's a bunch of stuff in there. I think it's mostly on the stream playlist, but it might be on both. And one and the other, I think I just organized it. Oh boy. Oh, that's use the sissy via. Oh, here you go. We can do for sure. We can do this one.
It's got ship in it.
More bridge after that. There's 2 of these. The top story is bridge both times. Bridge fall down.
Oh really? Bridge.
Oh yeah.
Bridge fall down.
More important than the Russian attack to us.
We got this, yeah?
Yeah, some billionaires thought to help Donald Trump. I mean, sure, like we got Trump in there, of course. Trump's always in there. I saved Trump stuff. Who cares?
Next you'll know is the London Bridge is falling down.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's even James was like posted something about just because he's open to any ideas, right? So like he doesn't dismiss things like a cyber attack. He actually looks into it and sees like what he can find on how possible it is, right?
Mm.
And it's just like, sure, but let's think about it. If you're gonna cyber attack to cause a bridge to fall, why would you do it at 1 a.m? You know?
Just to cause inconvenience and kill migrant workers.
Yeah. That is like bad terrorist planning, you know? Oh, we didn't account for a different time zone. We judged for rush hour in Russia. What are they talking about? North Carolina? That might be in there. That's definitely in there.
And we got this. Cool.
More bridge.
Oh, more bridge.
Because the PBS NewsHour has a bigger story on it.
Yeah.
Like that was just like the intro.
Okay.
Tuesday. All of them believed to have been working on it at the time. A hospital official said one person involved in the collapse was still being treated for injuries while another had been discharged. President Biden says he plans.
Because I know the guy mentions the black box and stuff on the boat. So I think that was just the intro segment.
Mm-hmm.
For the federal government to pick up the bill to rebuild the bridge. Biden repeated that
we're
officials believe the collapse was an accident. A New York judge has issued a gag order barring Donald Trump from making public statements about witnesses, staff, and jurors.
I didn't see it at all. I mean, yeah. I mean, just think about it, right? It's just
that's
like
funny.
It's like in theory, it's possible to hack the F-35, right?
Yeah.
Oh, is the F-35 going to get hacked? Probably not. You know.
No.
And also, like, it's just the timing. Like, come on, I could do such a better terrorist attack if I had the resources to attack a cargo ship to make it crash into a bridge.
Yeah. Yeah, there's so many better options.
I think there still needs to be an investigation, though.
Yes.
But I don't expect that to be the result. You know, it's like if the crew is culpable, if the company overhead is culpable.
Mm. They're also racist, being like,
reported to FBI immediately. I have people in the FBI, dog. They come to me to get questions answered.
But yeah, there's also like racists being like, oh, they're Indians. it's that sort of
it's
shit.
It's just like you go through airport security and you think about like you naturally are thinking about ways to get around it. You just can't help it, right? Everyone's like that, right?
Yeah, I think so. You'd be weird if you weren't.
In his upcoming hush money criminal trial,
You got a
the
gag
judge
order.
cited
That's
Trump's
hilarious.
previous
Too many
comments
flags.
about him and others involved in the case,
8
the
flags.
prosecution's request. And the main Venezuelan
Look, I even
opposition
marked it so
coalition
it can
said
be
Tuesday
clipped.
electoral authorities didn't let it register its candidates.
Yeah,
for
it's got the
presidential
FBI on the
elections
leash. I
by
mean,
Monday's midnight deadline. Opposition officials say the move is the latest violation to the citizens' right to vote.
I mean, we are the CIA.
I'm like we're always relating just our industry in general. Like we were talking about that Telegram network that they were investigating. Like those journalists were sending that shit to the FBI the whole time. FBI didn't care. They only cared when one of those guys had a weapon in one picture, and they said, "Oh, he could do a terrorism." See, is this the full? Hang on. Is this the full news hour?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what is it? It's weird. It's not segmented for you. The bridge is in the beginning. It's the first story.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. So there's going to be the interesting and then the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
Bennett and I'm
like, I don't know. Maybe I'm not sure. It might be.
Even though we are
Keep going. Just keep going. We'll see if it's there. I remember
so sad because
box
everything is
being mentioned.
Yeah,
So.
but what happened to more?
No black box
piece
mentioned?
together what went wrong.
No, go back. Right there at the end. I think I missed it
Estimated
last.
31,000 vehicles. Meanwhile, investigators have recovered the cargo ship's black box as they begin to piece together what went wrong.
The black box, right? So I have that. That's why I wanted the right cue.
Oh, great.
Right.
Cool.
Okay.
Anything else on here you wanted to see?
No, so here's the black box.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Fast, sharp right. Listen. Sammy,
You have to listen to my call, Sammy. Please, I beg you. Fast medium right. You have to turn the wheel, Sammy. 40, fast medium left. 50, downhill, triple caution. Triple caution, stay center. Triple caution, stay center. Whoa.
Oh, Sammy.
Medium left, long. Turn in. Medium left. Medium left, nice and easy. Turn. Throttle. Fast, medium left, long. In. Medium right, concentrate. Medium left. Listen to my calls. Medium left into sharp left. You're not concentrating, Sammy. You're watching out and driving. Sammy, you have to listen, Sammy. Otherwise, it is not working, Sammy. Seriously, you are watching and driving. You have to be easy, Sammy. Otherwise, we won't win it. You have to be easy, Sammy. I'm telling you, you are not listening. Shut up. No, I'm just giving you advice, Sammy.
It's the degree of angle of the corner.
No, down, bro. Sammy. Fast, medium right. Listen to the call. Sammy, please listen to the call. Sharp left. Sammy, you have to stay on road, Sammy. Otherwise, car will break down. Sammy, you will wreck the car. We will not finish.
So like, because it was all an Indian crew, they keep posting shit like this. Like, is this supposed to be funny? And I said, as I've said already, if racists were actually funny, they would post this in response.
I think that's it for the boat story.
There's Biden's speech response was interesting. I'm not sure if it's on there if you want to look at it. I think there might be Vosh talking about it. That might be in the stream fund though.
I think this one is about the boat. Yes.
Oh yeah. This one is I wanted to see too.
Speaking of crazy, do you remember Laura Logan? She's still alive.
We have to look at Michael the Murderer and his take on this because that was funny too.
Oh my god.
Exists. What's she doing? She is on Real America Voice. She has been blacklisted from every other network, which is impressive.
Right.
Like she and Mike Lindell are really the only two people who can't get on, don't have carte blanche to go on and be crazy. And you're not going to believe this, but she has a different explanation for the Baltimore bridge collapse.
Can't wait.
As opposed to the DEI thing. She has an alt theory. Here it is.
Permits. It costs money to get a permit. It requires an escort, right? You've seen it on the highways sometimes. You've seen when you have these massive oversized loads and they've got escorts all around them, these huge convoys. Well, what do you do on one of the busiest corridors in the United States? You don't shut it down in the day so this can happen. That means you can only move this stuff at night, which automatically impacts the amount of traffic that you can use. The tunnel is going to be overloaded. This is what you call death by 1,000 cuts. It is an absolutely catastrophic attack on critical infrastructure, and you cannot see it because a cyber attack is unseen. Just like the attack on 2020 on the voting machine.
Can you imagine how
that you cannot
dysfunctional
see.
these people would be if
Okay, I want to know. You just had the big thing with the FBI talking about
a fucking bridge infrastructure attack. Can you imagine? ISIS is too stupid to do infrastructure attacks, but could you imagine if that happened? It would be al-Qaeda smart enough to do it, but al-Qaeda is not going to attack us.
No, because they'll get flattened.
Yeah, they learned the last time that that's not how they want to achieve their goals.
About what the Chinese Communist Party's cyber hacking unit that they've been monitoring for 10 years, and now they're saying it's out of control. Are your sources telling you that they feel there's enough information out there that it is a cyber attack, and is it a state actor or non-state actors?
Check this out. Look, Michael the Murderer. I don't even know what he's talking about.
Oh my god, she's literally
Caviar Matrix is Special Forces 101. And I guess this is an acronym that special forces use, right? Criticality, accessibility. So what he's saying is that when you go in to invade Iraq, you bomb the bridges. Crazy, Michael. That solves the mystery, Mike.
And then you're also screen capping.
I'm impressed that he actually
Laura
has
Logan.
this formatted correctly, though.
Yeah, that's actually very interesting because usually it's
I think
very
we
off.
need to check on Michael and make sure he's okay. I mean, look at this one. Somebody's got to be doing his posts for him now.
Maybe. Who knows?
I mean,
Oh,
I don't know.
so
This one
awful.
could be just like this. It might be artistic, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That one's fine, formatted correctly. Oh, there it is. That's how long it took. Before there's a fucked post on his fucking feed. Look at that. You see this? Who's down there working with them in the Gap to
Laura Loomer.
report on the migrants there?
Is that Laura Loomer?
Yeah. So I think if you're going to the Darien Gap, this is not the correct thing to wear. Let's just first start there. You should probably be more prepared. If you're doing a real serious op like Michael claims that they are, they're fucking, what is it, like Fire Shield? What does he call it? Operation Infinite, setting migrants on fire. Here's him supporting that guy that shot the person blocking the road. Crazy, huh? Oh, look, Jew post. Here's him talking about how Hezbollah and Hamas are going to invade us with the cartels.
Awesome.
What is that? Is this a Mass Effect character? Mortal Kombat, I think. Oh, genetically engineered mosquitoes. He believes in those. The robo mosquitoes that are coming to get you. Here's a great formatted post. Right? Great format. Bugs. Here we go. Oh, okay. Burning Edge. You see, you wouldn't know because he can't format his post correctly, but you know, here. Oh, look, it's here it is here. So for some reason, he fucked it up on the second post. And this is the guy we want to be taking like intel information from. He can't figure out how to make a post on Instagram.
Tactical genius.
And they are saying that this is a cyber attack. You didn't have a terrorist group board the ship and commandeer it and take it over. You had somebody hack into the systems on board the ship, the GPS system, and reroute that ship. They did it in the middle of the night because they didn't want the
power went out.
They didn't want everybody to be on full high alert. They wanted everybody to be asleep.
Pause it for 1 second. Listen,
wait.
I'm not going to pretend like I know anything about shipping. Yeah. It seems to me if you've got one of these massive container ships and you are, I don't know, 500 feet from shore in a
it's time to work, I think.
That you've probably either just arrived in the port of Baltimore or you're leaving. Everybody's like, hey, everybody, get on the boat. We're going to start it up. Now go to sleep. I think what happens is that when people are, when you're entering or you're leaving a port, it's probably what they call all hands on deck, which is a technical term for everyone's who's on board the boat paying attention to what's going on. And it's also not like these ships are not like steered by people in the hull, like rowing the whole thing. Like half of them were asleep. That's why we couldn't turn right because we only had the guys on the left pulling the oars. This is just bizarro, but continue.
Everybody to be on full high alert. They wanted everybody to be asleep and you trying to wake people up and rouse people because when I spoke to one individual who has, let's just say he worked in Baltimore for many, many years and was there when that bridge was opened. He knew when he looked at the security camera video of the long version, the 7 minutes, he knew from the start of that video when he looked at that ship that it was not in the channel. You need to be in the channel to make that turn, to have any chance of making that turn. So now you're traveling. That is a river that flows pretty quickly, Steve, even under normal circumstances, right? And at a certain point, you're committed.
Yeah, so
the ship is heavy, the load is heavy.
What?
They can't make the full turn.
The water.
And then they lost power.
Going at a certain speed, you've got very little room to maneuver. So at a certain point, there was absolutely nothing that they could do to stop that.
Yeah, lost power.
That's what I said.
I mean,
I like how at any given moment she's like an expert on like river currents as
Let's
well
just
as
say I know. I mean, I have no doubt that some of what she's saying is correct, but it doesn't. If there's these currents and it's that difficult, I find.
Goodbye.
Hassan's video on this was an hour.
Jesus Christ.
Everything so far indicates that this was a terrible accident.
U.S. President Joe Biden on Tuesday said a search and rescue operation was the top priority after a massive cargo ship smashed into a bridge in Baltimore, Maryland, sending cars and people into the river below.
What I can tell you is a search and rescue is still underway.
National Transportation Safety Board Chair Jennifer Homendy said rescuers were searching the Patapsco River for more survivors after 2 people were pulled out, one of whom was hospitalized. The cargo ship crashed into and brought down the Francis
one guy
Scott
literally
Key
just
Bridge
walked
around
away.
1:30 a.m. Tuesday morning.
So the 2
closing one of the
survivors,
busiest
one
ports
is
on the US
hospitalized,
eastern
and the other guy was totally fine.
Isn't it crazy how that happens? It's like people in car crashes just get up and walk away.
Seaboard.
I've directed my team to move heaven and earth to reopen the port and rebuild the bridge as soon as humanly possible.
Biden pledged full federal support in response to the emergency.
And to the people of Baltimore, I want to say we're with you. We're going to stay with you as long as it takes. It's my intention that the federal government will pay for the entire cost of reconstructing that bridge. And I expect the Congress to support my effort.
The ship,
So this
as
is
long as
what's
3
interesting what he's
football
actually
fields
saying there, right?
Mm.
What he's saying is we're not waiting for Congress bullshit here. The federal government's
Yeah.
going to pay for it, and if if Congress wants to follow suit to mitigate the cost on the federal government, like they
Mhm.
should do, then they'll do it. But he literally is like, I can't depend on this Congress for an actual emergency.
Yeah, fair. I don't blame him.
end to end, reported a power issue before impact, which enabled officials to stop traffic on the bridge before the collapse.
It's hard to believe it's gone.
Steve Waters is a local charter boat
Great
captain.
We just take it for granted. We use it so much, and there's always when the ships go under it, it's always looks like they're real close, and they're
How long
really
is this
not that close,
package?
'cause I've been on ships going under it, and it's not.
Minute 40.
Wow, classic. Really well done. That the intro to him gave him a little soundbite thing,
Mhm.
right? And so it's just like they did a little flavor of him in the intro, and then they like let him give his like full statement there.
Mhm.
No stand up though, so he would get points off in college for that,
Mhm.
unless he's at the end standing up.
Only like 3 seconds left.
Yeah, which I doubt. I don't think Reuters really cares. They just get footage
Nah.
and do voiceovers.
Yeah, that's all they need to do. I'm gonna play this. I'll be back.
This morning, the NTSB is leading the investigation into what led up to the collapse, analyzing live stream footage moment by moment to establish a timeline. The lights on the 95,000-ton dolly container ship went off at 1:24 a.m., turning back on with smoke before turning off again. At 1:28 a.m., the last cars drive over the bridge before the ship rams into one of the bridge supports 30 seconds later, bringing down the bridge.
See, 30
impact
seconds.
with which this ship hit the structure was one outside of the typical assumed impact to occur.
The data recorder on the ship could be critical for the investigation.
They also have to recover the evidence from this crash and the debris from this crash in order to recreate the scene and recreate what happened, which is one of
We
the
also have
tough
video, so
things
we
to
can
do.
3D
This
model
wasn't
that
the
right
first
away.
time issues with the dolly were documented. An inspection last June found a deficiency for propulsion and auxiliary machinery concerning gauges, thermometers, etc. And in 2016, inspectors issued a deficiency for structural conditions concerning hull damage, impairing seaworthiness after
Yeah,
it was
that's
involved in
nothing.
a crash in Belgium.
Oh, who
This
cares
image
about that
showing
then?
the moment the dolly hit a wall in Antwerp. Yesterday's collision brings up concerns about the safety of other bridges in the U.S.
Is it time to go out and rethink what you have and make sure that all the inspections and all the studies have been made for the individual?
I think really
bridges
safety
themselves?
and
Officials in
infrastructure
Delaware
is,
have
you know,
already
Jon
been
Stewart
working
made
to
a story a while ago when it was like in the Trump presidency, how we really need to talk about infrastructure, but it's boring, right?
Yeah.
I think it's this is what we needed. You know, that's the real
Yeah.
conspiracy. It was a false flag to get us interested in infrastructure. All right, guys. Nobody's going to talk about that, huh? But like, think about it, like the Boeing shit, like regulations, safety, infrastructure, the train accident that happened. Like this is starting. You know, they didn't have to burn all that shit. They found out. They looked at it and was like, "Nah, it was unnecessary to light up all that
That's
shit that spilled in East
hilarious.
Palestine."
Jesus Christ.
tragedies like Baltimore's, investing millions in a project called the Bridge Ship Collision Protection System.
It's a $95 million insurance policy.
They're upgrading the Delaware Memorial Bridge with 80-foot wide stone-filled cylinders, or dolphins at its piers, to absorb the impact from newer, larger cargo ships.
Fair enough.
The ships back then weren't as fast, weren't as big.
Delaware's got the
and
tax money
it
for
was
that.
adequate for,
All those
that
corpos.
time. In today's environment, you're looking at bigger ships, faster ships.
The bridge in Baltimore, built in 1977, apparently did not have a fender system around the support columns. In comparison, the Verrazano Bridge in New York has a...
Yeah, look, that's not going to stop that ship.
Yeah.
That bridge is falling down too.
rock wall installed at its base, while the Sunshine Skyway Bridge in Tampa has a man-made island barrier installed.
That's more effective. That's way more effective. A full artificial island, way better.
After crash caused the
But also,
collapse
if
in
you look, it's
19...
also got the pillars out from that artificial barriers too.
Yeah.
So it's got the slabs outside of there.
That's great. That's great. That's how they all should be.
80 killing 35 people. But some experts say in this case, stopping a ship like the Dolly, nearly as large as the Empire State Building, could be nearly impossible.
Yeah.
If you don't have propulsion, if you don't have engines, the ship isn't stopping. It's going to continue on. And I think that's what we saw here.
And part of the investigation will look into whether there were any deficiencies with that cargo ship or the structure and design of the bridge.
So many questions still this morning. We don't know what tests were ran right before it left the port, if any.
Yeah, but his backing up on that plan with investing in the unions is going to help underlie that stuff, because these unions coming up are going to be able to apply pressure to get the wealth from the government extracted.
It's a huge economic impact for the country. And that's why I think when we've seen how the entire country has rallied around Maryland and rallied around Baltimore, it's because they understand that the Port of Baltimore is not just impacting Maryland. If you look at this, this port is responsible for over 51 million tons of foreign cargo. That's the largest in the country. That for everybody who is buying cars, for everybody who is buying farm equipment, we're the largest port in the country that does that. So this is not just impacting Maryland. This is impacting that farmer in Kentucky.
That's why the first priority is to move those bodies and steel out of there and get the boats back to work. Fuck off. We don't give a fuck about your bridge. You can drive around. The boats are what's important.
Get this bridge rebuilt. It's imperative that we get the Port of Baltimore back up and going. And it's not just about how are we supporting Maryland. This is about how we're supporting the American economy. The investigation now is involving everybody, from federal authorities to
sorry for calling you gay,
really trying to uncover both what happened, what
I
led
like
up to
Baltimore.
this, but then also everything about the aftermath.
But I haven't spent that much time there. But just because I've been there a few times because it's like on the outskirts of DC. So like
I saw a sign. I think I was like 3 kilometers from Baltimore when I flew out of the airport. I think that's pretty close.
What?
I was to the DC airport. I flew out of DC to go to LA, and I'm pretty sure that's close to Baltimore. That's about as close as I got.
Oh, DC literally is Baltimore.
Oh, okay.
They're literally like right next to each other. Yeah. The Northeast, all the cities are clustered.
Yeah, right.
about the response. And so this is going to be a thorough investigation. It's going to be a long one, but we have to make sure that we get the answers that we're seeking in this.
Oh, I can't
And
wait
joining
for
me
this
now
one.
is Chesapeake Bay waterman Luke McFadden. Luke, thanks for coming on the show.
What's a
You
waterman?
surveyed the bridge yesterday. What did you see?
Yeah, I mean, I went out right after it happened. It's right behind my house. I mean, 10-minute boat ride, and I mean, it's just in ruins. It's pretty surreal to see it like that. It looks like something out of a movie. I mean, it's sad. It's truly sad.
Can you give any estimation after the damage that you saw, any estimation whatsoever on how long it'll take to rebuild the bridge?
Oh, come on.
I mean, I'm not a bridge expert. I'm a crab fisherman, but I mean,
Thank you.
I think it took them like 5 years to build.
No,
this
can we
one,
just
you know,
hang
in
on?
the
Can we just go
70s, I
back,
guess.
like how bad he fucked up that interview for Fox's narrative? I'm not a bridge builder, you know. Like this is a Forrest Gump moment.
On how long it'll take to rebuild the bridge?
I mean, I'm not a bridge expert. I'm a crab fisherman, but I mean, I think it took them like 5 years to build this one, you know, in the 70s, I guess. And I mean, they didn't have to pick up 1.5 miles of bridge up out of a 60-foot deep channel.
How much of the bridge is actually down? I mean, the bridge is what, 1.6 miles, I think it is. How much of it is actually down?
I mean, the whole center span. So, I mean, the majority of it. And you can see in that picture there, I mean, that channel right where that boat's at is like 60 foot deep. They maintain that channel by 60 foot. And that, you know, that bridge is right on the bottom, and it's still sticking up that much. So there's quite a bit of steel and concrete to.
That's a
to be
fair
moved.
point,
It's a big
actually.
job.
It occurs to me, though, that any bridge anywhere is vulnerable.
I love how he said
to
he's like, you
cargo
surveyed
ships
the bridge. What he did was he said, I'm a crab fisherman. I got him a boat and I looked at it, and now he's on Fox News. And to go, I'm not a bridge expert. Like, bro, come on, Fox News.
container ships of this size. One tiny little bump from a ship as big as that into one of the stanchions to keep it upright, and that bridge is gone.
Wait.
This is
This
vulnerability
guy is
all-
a YouTube lobster man. What's his channel called?
I don't fucking know.
all over the
That's
world.
well, I'm
Look up
asking chat.
YouTube lobster guy.
I'm
Look
asking
up,
chat.
No. Look up Baltimore
Chat is
lobster
gonna tell
guy
me.
YouTube.
Chat is gonna tell me.
We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, nothing is impervious to
See?
that. It's a 950-foot ship. And I think a lot of people that are seeing this on the news don't realize how big these ships really are. I mean, I've worked around them my whole life. I've been on the water in Chesapeake Bay my whole life. I mean, they're a daily part of my life is seeing these things and being up close to them. I mean, they are massive, and you are not stopping that thing. No anchor's going to stop it. No, I mean, that ship takes a half mile to stop. You pull it out of gear. So nothing is impervious to that ship hitting the bridge. There's no bridge anywhere that can.
Hold on. Where's that soundbite?
I
There
think
it
Jack hates lobsters, by the way, guys.
Never had one. Hold on. Yeah.
Oh, it produced an overwhelming sense of impending doom.
Lobster enjoyer.
Stand up to that.
Now, you live very close to the bridge. You say you're about a 10-minute boat ride away. The collapse of this bridge, what kind of a difference has that made to your immediate environment?
They are.
I mean,
You will eat sea
Like
bugs.
prawns and shrimp. They're the
You will eat sea bugs.
insects of the ocean. Yeah.
You will eat sea
The
bugs.
bottom feeders. Yuck.
Messed up traffic pretty bad. I think people are just now trying to figure out how to kind of get to work around it and whatever else. And I know that traffic's been very bad for people, you know, from my area, which is kind of a suburb of Baltimore City, trying to get over into Baltimore or vice versa for work. Because now really all we have is the tunnel, or you go all the way around or through the city. And I mean, traffic around the tunnel was already pretty bad. And this is not helping.
Traffic is going to be
I mean,
bad.
people
Bridge
don't
went
realize-
down.
Yeah. I think that's all for bridge. Not bodies
There's
here.
a
We'll do
Vosh
this one.
one.
I don't see a Vosh one.
Can't find him. I think I sent it in private chat.
Yeah, I'm looking. Got it. We'll watch this one though. It's short.
Just skip over the parts we've seen already because he might look at stuff we've already seen, but he'll probably look at the
Anyway.
unhinged people.
Yeah.
Today, we transitioned from search and
Trans
rescue to recovery. We need to bring a sense of closure and comfort to the families, and we
This
take
dude
that
is taking
very
over
seriously.
YouTube Shorts for a
Maryland
while.
State
Okay.
Police, along with the underwater recovery teams, supported by state, local, and federal partners, made a tragic finding. Shortly before 10 a.m., divers located a red pickup truck submerged in approximately 25 feet of water in the area of the middle span of the bridge. Divers recovered two victims of this tragedy.
Yeah, that's why I said
trapped
it's a
within the
Forrest
vehicle.
Gump moment.
The victims
Like
were
that
identified
was a
as
real dude. Just straight up being like, I'm not a bridge expert. I've seen a lot of bridges. He's an expert on like how much cargo and stuff goes through there, but not like how like a government expert is. But it's just he must already be an established personality there. That's why they grabbed him. I thought it was just some random fisherman they like called in. That would have been funnier as hell.
Alejandro Hernandez Fuentes, 35 years old, of Baltimore, and Dorlian Ranial Castillo Cabrera. At this point, based upon the conditions, we're now moving from a recovery mode to a salvage operation. Because of the superstructure surrounding the vehicle, what we believe are the vehicles, and the amount of concrete and debris, divers are no longer able to safely navigate or operate around that. We have exhausted all search efforts in the areas around this wreckage.
Wow, I
And
honestly,
based on sonar
the crab
scans,
fishermen
we firmly
explained this a lot better than the policeman.
I may have found it.
The Vosh thing? I mean, I can pull it up in 2 seconds.
No, not the Bosch thing. I may have found it.
The crab fisherman's channel?
Yes.
I'm just a simple crab farmer.
I'll put the Bosch video on, and I'll keep looking.
Well, I mean, you got to skip over the stuff we've already seen because it's the last
Yeah,
part. Now you need to also make more tweets.
Okay, let me just do the rundown, okay? First of all, there are some conservatives blaming this on DEI, but as far as I can tell, they're all doing it disingenuously. There's not any real discourse. They're just baiting blue check Twitter ad revenue, okay? That's one. So
Great analysis. I agree.
quit giving them attention. Was anyone on the bridge? Yes. For two, my understanding is that this boat was having power issues for a while.
Correct.
You can actually see the lights on it flicker off a little bit before it hits the bridge. I think that they called ahead, and the reason why there are a bunch of cops on this bridge, you can see all the cop cars stopped here.
That's not the cop cars.
Is because they were trying to keep people off the bridge themselves.
Not the cop.
They already
Well,
knew the
correct.
ship was going
I
like
watched some of
haywire, but they didn't realize this would happen because, look at this, Jesus Christ. Yeah, the crew sent out a warning. There are some people saying that this is like an infrastructural issue. I don't know what problems caused the boat to have its power issue.
Bridge fall
I
down.
don't think those were cops. They were construction workers. Oh my. Okay. I know there were cops there, but there were also construction workers there. But they had blocked off some traffic.
I can't copy links.
Gotcha.
It
So
only-
these
and
were
it only
construction
shows
crew,
up
but
in
there
our
were
private
also
chat.
cops that were there that were trying.
What are you talking
Just
about?
tell me. I'm talking to chat, bro. So if you so if you just give me the name of the channel, that's how I can look it up. There's no efficient way to copy links in this. We need a better integrated chat that we don't have the infrastructure for right now.
And yeah. So sorry, guys. It wasn't all cops that went down. Also, there are some people who are saying that this is like an infrastructural issue. It's not. There is no infrastructure that can stop a fully loaded barge from annihilating anything it crashes into.
Somebody over here is an expert, like a fisherman or something.
You can build whatever you want.
Luke
It's not
McFadden.
going to make a difference. You would have to build a goddamn fortification in front of every truss. There's no way, Yeah, the kinetic energy behind a fully loaded barge moving forward would collapse like anything. You might as well be like constructing buildings to not take damage from a plane crashing into them, you know? Like
Okay.
unironically, we have to 9/11
He's got an
proof
interesting channel
every
name.
What is it?
Well, it's like Luke McFadden, but the @ is like FV Southern Girl. FV Southern Girl.
Huh.
Wonder if Luke is transgender, and it just it couldn't let him change his channel name.
Well, the page I found is FV Miss Paula.
Miss?
Yeah. But this one is just like a crab channel. And the video that I'm looking for was 2 years ago. But there's like Maryland blue crabs, so the guy must be. But this is a dude. That's
Yeah.
what's weird.
Yeah.
And this isn't the guy, but I'm pretty sure he's in that video. Give me a second. Okay, play.
building. Why did the bridge not simply parry the boat? Yeah. Anyone died? It was immediately declared a mass casualty event. I think, yeah, 6 people are unaccounted for from what I've seen, which means they're almost certainly dead. Probably all construction workers. I doubt anyone on the barge was killed because it's the barge, you know. The foundations are supposed to fence away ships. Nothing could have
Shut
fenced the
up.
ship away.
He is in this video.
The
It's
purpose of
hilarious.
little
Yeah, and I sent you the other channel that also has like a name that's like I'm a woman, Southern Girl.
Yeah, that's
Maybe
weird.
that's the name of the boat.
Yeah, maybe.
Because it's more like people normally make their boats female.
Yes.
So
Yeah, maybe. That's definitely him, though.
mm-hmm.
Like foundational, like the dolphins and stuff, they guide people, and you keep ships from doing a little bump. But this thing, like, look at the size of this thing. Okay, see this car? That's a car. This pinprick of light is a car. This thing is like 100 feet tall, and it's fully loaded. We're talking like the weight of several
it's
buildings
right here in the
moving
description.
forward.
It
There's
says
no
Captain of the FV Southern Girl.
Okay.
concrete little. There's nothing. Absolutely nothing. It keeps moving after hitting the bridge. Like that's how much kinetic energy there is. Even after it hits
That's
the
how much
bridge, it
kinetic
continues
energy.
moving forward. You can see it's not even moving at full speed here. Are they going to go after the captain? Well, considering it seems to be a power issue, probably not.
It's probably like no.
I mean, like I don't know what the.
It's definitely not. It's definitely not Nazi. Nazis are not crab fishermen. I just want to be clear about that. There has never been a Nazi crab fisherman.
Captain really could have done there.
Investigation. Let's go. I mean, all I'm just saying is that I got some envy vibes from him when he was talking.
Oh yeah, here you go. Okay, yeah, from an aerial shot.
The
Look
boat
at
was
that.
making the
There is not a
frogs
bridge on Earth. Jesus Christ. There is not a bridge in the goddamn world.
True.
In the Biden press conference, they mentioned something about going after who might be liable. Well, it is possible that poor maintenance on the boat led to it having its power issues, but I can't imagine this being an issue with the crew. Anything that would cause a ship's power to go out like that doesn't seem to me like a moment-to-moment crew maintenance issue. That seems to me like a long-term problem. The ship had an accident before. Interesting. Well, that speaks even more to
I mean,
a
when you
chronic
look at
issue.
roller coaster rides, they go all the way
I
to
guess we'll
like
see. Maybe skipped maintenance.
maintenance and what went wrong and shit like that. It can go all the way back to the company that built the ride.
Yeah. Sometimes even
I've just
the
watched
metal,
a few YouTube channels that love roller coasters that have talked about it.
they're great. There's a lot of urban exploration channels that are really good as well. They're just like really aesthetically pleasing.
The Dali was
sometimes they
Whatever,
get chased by
Keep
security.
me out of
It's
your
great. Mm.
weird hobbies.
was involved in at least one prior accident when
Highly
it collided
recommend.
with a shipping pier. Oh, I get it. The Dali, because it makes a ruined mess of everything it touches. Nice. A 2016 incident occurs. The Dali was
It's an
leaving from
AI joke.
Antwerp and struck a local pier made of stone, causing damage to the ship's stern. An investigation determined a mistake made by the ship's master and pilot was to blame. probably unrelated. If this was a captain's issue, that's not the same as whatever caused the power to die. Now, if it is somehow the captain's fault, like the captain did something that led to the power issues on the ship, they are going to hang that guy. They're going to bring the death penalty
Yeah,
back
he
to
was like,
Maryland, so
"Hey,
they
let's
can hang
shut
him in
off
front of
power
the
to save battery while we're launching from port."
state capitol building. They're going to roll a guillotine out. That motherfucker is getting put into the device. How many people on that bridge during like daytime? The key bridge. This is a huge bridge. This is a very, very used bridge.
We know this
Thank
now.
God this happened during the night. Hundreds of people could have died if this had happened during prime time. It's so scary because it seems like for the most part this is literally just act of God stuff, you know? Like it because like obviously something went wrong in a way that could be addressed, but you know, in like a moment to moment sense, this really just feels like
The thing with
act
James
of God
is
stuff,
that
you know?
it's inevitable that Haqqani is going to be behind something huge, and then he gets to say, "See, I told y'all." See, it's like placing your bets on like a sure payout.
Yeah.
Go to the part where he
Shouldn't blame it on the
looks at
company as
Biden.
well until we know what's caused it. We
Get
can't
to
really
some-
moving at this speed, right? Like, yeah, exactly. They're more. It's more like putting a parking brake on, where like once you're there, you just want to stay there, anchored to the ground. But if you're moving, like it's not going to stop you from moving. It's not like Sea of Thieves where you like power drift.
Before I leave for North Carolina, which is going to be a few minutes, I want to speak briefly about the terrible incident and accident that happened in Baltimore this morning. At about 1:30, a container ship struck the Francis Scott.
For some reason, Artemy is stopped in front of my computer
Mhm.
and he's mesmerized by the light that I have on the RAM. He's just staring at it.
Key Bridge, which I've been over many, many times commuting from the state of Delaware in our train or by car. I've been in Baltimore Harbor many times. And the bridge collapsed, sending several people in vehicles into the water, into the river. And multiple U.S. Coast Guard units, which are stationed very nearby, thank God, were immediately deployed along with local emergency personnel. And the Coast Guard is leading the response to the port, where representatives from the Federal Highway Administration, the FBI, the Department of Transportation.
Okay, I think we saw all this, right?
Did we?
I think so.
I think we saw a clip of Biden talking, not the
Accounted for
full
still.
speech.
Not still, we're unaccounted for.
Okay.
Doesn't
We'll go
matter.
back.
We can move on if we want to.
We'll go back.
Fire. They're all working together to coordinate an emergency response. Officials at the scene estimate 8 people were unaccounted for still. Not still, were unaccounted for. That number might change. 2 have been rescued, 1 without injury, 1 in critical condition. And the search and rescue operation is continuing for all those remaining as we speak.
My Funko Pops.
I spoke with Governor Moore this morning, as well as the Mayor of Baltimore, the county executive, both United States senators and the congressman. And my Secretary of Transportation is on the scene. I told them we're going to send all the federal
Why didn't they put barriers to stop ship? Look at the size of the ship relative to the size of the bridge. Again, just the kinetic energy involved in the movement of a ship of this size. There's nothing that you could build to stop it. You know, you would need like sea mines. You would need to like make the surrounding of every bridge look like Normandy Beach, circa 43.
resources they need as we respond to this emergency. And I mean all the federal resources. And we're going to rebuild that port together. Everything so far indicates that.
Like, remember how the Titanic was a really big ship, and then given the
Was
mass of
it?
the ship, like it was able to be cut open by ice, even though ice isn't as hard as steel. Okay, like
How big do you
this
think
ship
the
is huge.
Titanic was,
If it hit a
It was probably half the size,
Bro,
and maybe a quarter of the height.
concrete barrier, it would just vaporize the
Bro.
concrete. Like it's so
not even
big.
close.
Build a second bridge in front as a buffer.
This was a terrible accident. At this time, we have no other indication, no other reason to believe there's any intentional act here. Personnel on board the ship were able to alert the Maryland Department of Transportation that they had lost control of their vessel, as you all know and reported. As a result, local authorities were able to close the bridge to traffic before the bridge was struck, which undoubtedly
That's really good. That calling ahead probably saved like dozens of lives. You know,
saved lives. Our prayers are with everyone involved in this terrible
it
accident.
really sucks. There was still construction crew on there. Like that's really though. Like I actually hold on, thinking about it. Like I feel like there should be an investigation into the decision making that kept the construction crew from leaving. The threat was a ship crashing into it. It wasn't like it wasn't like, oh, civvies can't be here, but whatever. Like, why the didn't they pull those guys out?
Oh, come on.
All the families, especially those waiting for the news of their loved one right now. I know every minute in that circumstance feels like a lifetime. You just
To be fair, they only had like 2 minutes max. I think they had 4 minutes. But if I was doing construction in the middle of a bridge and like I was like, hey, listen, a ship is careening towards us. You can see the ship. Like you can look over the side of the bridge and see this giant cargo ship with its lights flickering moving towards you. Like I am Scooby-Doo cartoon running off the edge of the goddamn.
Why would anybody be thinking about,
right out of
hey,
there,
any
you know?
ship that's going to go by is going to crash into us? Okay, here's the Titanic. Here's an average modern ship. Right, these are just commercial ships,
Mm-hmm.
or like public stuff.
Small.
Yeah. So here's a cargo ship here.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Titanic is that? I mean, that's the Queen Mary. It's basically
Yeah, Titanic's there. Four stacks on the Titanic.
Yeah.
Down.
But,
it's down.
Right here.
It's
There you
there.
go. So the Queen Mary is even bigger than it. There you go. The Yamato.
Yeah, I think the Queen Mary was a sister ship.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Mm.
Enterprise, but like average cruise ship way bigger.
Mm. The Titanic was not big in modern standards. Like
yeah, that's why I was laughing.
Yeah.
To the scene and to the people of Baltimore, I want to say we're with you. We're going to stay with you.
One of these ships would the iceberg that took out the Titanic would get steamrolled by one of these ships.
It could, That's the thing is that the ship is fine.
Yeah,
it's floating.
Yeah,
it's
fine.
like the one cruise ship that crashed into the dock. That one sank. That was a hilarious.
That's
because
it capsized, though, right?
No, he crashed. I think.
I don't know what one you're talking about.
That's like the al-qeada. Internet Historian has a ship on it.
Okay.
There's a fucking story on the ship.
Like
Trying to
Governor
catch the hit
said,
in the
you're
iframes.
Maryland tough, you're Baltimore strong, and we're going to get through this together. And I promise we're not leaving. Here's what's happening now.
I promise
Search and
we're not
rescue
leaving.
operation is
You
our
can't
top
even get rid of
priority.
me.
Ship traffic in the port of Baltimore has been suspended until further notice, and we'll need to clear that channel before the ship traffic can resume. The Army Corps of Engineers is on the spot and is going to help lead this effort to clear the channel.
Nice.
The Port of Baltimore is one of the nation's largest shipping hubs, and I've been there a number of times as a senator and as a vice president. It handles a record amount of cargo last year. It's also the top port in America for both imports and exports of automobiles and light trucks.
Oh, shit.
Around 850,000 vehicles go through that port every single year, and we're going to get it up and running again as soon as possible. 15,000 jobs depend on that port, and we're going to do everything we can to protect those jobs and help those workers. The bridge is also
I love
critical
that. I
for
love
travel.
that. So
We don't
like
care. It is pretty
him just including the thing about the jobs and the workers is such a good strategy to mask that it's really just all about capitalism and GDP.
Yeah.
But ultimately you need the workers for it anyway.
Uh-huh.
So like it depends on how disingenuous you want to read him. But I do think
Yes.
that is a good move is mentioning the jobs and mentioning the everyday people that it's affecting.
Economically important that the channel be cleared no matter what. A lot of people's lives depend on the continuity of trade, not just people's jobs, but like
suspending the election
pretty,
until
like,
the bridge is rebuilt.
Focal point of our economic
Supreme Court wouldn't
flow
allow that.
of commerce.
No.
It always sounds kind of like grim, where it's like, people have died, people are missing, but we got to get the ships up and running. But it is true. Like it does make sense. It's not even like a capitalist thing or whatever. Like you would have to do that under any system.
Not just for Baltimore, but for the Northeast Corridor. Over 30,000 vehicles cross the Francis Scott Key Bridge on a daily basis. It's virtually, it's one of the most important elements for the economy in the Northeast and the quality of life. My transportation secretary is there now. As I told Governor Moore, I've directed my team to move heaven and earth to reopen the port and rebuild the bridge as soon as humanly possible. And we're going to work hand in hand with the support of Maryland to support Maryland.
He's not just pro-union. His stance, and he has not really pushed this a lot, but like at the height of pushing the infrastructure bill, I think he's dialing back on it because being so pro-union isn't the best look for everyone. But like in the height of the Infrastructure Act, he was going around basically going to hard hat zones and giving speeches just outside talking about the unions and how he's going to rebuild the unions. And he's saying that he is the most pro-union president of all time. Like which is so much smarter to do than Trump being like, maybe even greater than Lincoln. Just be like, just say you're the most law and order president, Trump, or something. No, yes, I'm the best of everything.
I did so well. I held the Bible upside down.
Massive solar storm that occurred yesterday as well. It's possible that also fed into electrical issues.
Shut up.
Maybe. I am very curious to know what caused the issues on the ship. I would be surprised if it was something like that, because then you'd probably have more widespread issues, right? And solar stuff like that tends to affect larger grids more so than little ones, I think. I guess I don't really know. I did the math, and the ship had 23 tons of TNT worth of kinetic energy. Whew. A solar storm would at most with GPS. Yeah, it probably wouldn't like shut power down. Makes sense.
The state gets the support it needs. It's my intention that federal government will pay for the entire cost of reconstructing that bridge, and I expect the Congress to support my effort. This is going to take some time. The people of Baltimore can count on us, though, to stick with them at every step of the way until the port is reopened and the bridge is rebuilt. You know, we're not leaving until this job gets done. Not leaving until then. So I just want to say God bless everybody who got everyone harmed this morning.
You guys ready for them to over-engineer the replacement for the Key Bridge? It's gonna be like
When
the
you play
most
video, for
durable
example,
bridge
on
in human
YouTube,
history.
in
They're going to
Opera browser,
over-engineer.
and
What's that
then
old
you
saying? Like
when
anyone
you
can build a
tab,
bridge, but
then
it takes an
Opera
engineer
will
to build a bridge
automatically
that just
pop
barely stays
out
up.
that
Okay,
video.
we're going to
It's
get
also
anyone to build a
called
bridge.
picture
He's going to get like a
so to
43-year-old
prevent Opera
mom who
from
plays those like
automatically
bridge-building
popping
mobile
out
games to build it, and
videos,
she's going to be
you
like,
need to
okay, I need
hover your
$4 billion
mouse
to
over the
put a
video
truss
and
every
then
4
click
feet.
on the gear
And all right,
icon
I'll
and
need
click on
okay, can we
here
make
to
everything out of
disable
stainless steel?
automatically
And like
pop
we're
out
bankrupt the
video.
entire economy,
Now
but we
if
make
we
like the
go
most indestructible. Like when human civilization collapses, this will be like the one remaining element. This will be the one remaining structure.
This is
that aliens-
nonsense. Time to move on. He's in full nonsense mode. Time to move on.
Okay.
I denounce this nonsense.
Mhm.
Let's get into some racist shit. In Mexico.
Are you aware of a CIA psychological profile about you, sir? Would you be interested in hearing what the CIA had to say? This secret study portrays as a brilliant but dangerous megalomaniac who is likely to pursue his own aims in disregard of U.S. interests. He's an uncertain ally. Shall I go on, or would you prefer that I stop, sir?